Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 23rd of December 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot for today's reading. And you'll notice the different background. I'm at my mother's house. I came down for a few days to celebrate Christmas. So let's have a look at what the cards have to say then about Thursday and what the day is going to look like. I'm going to shuffle these and choose 3 cards to see what Thursday is all about. Right, so the first card is the Magician, the Princess of Swords, and the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. So that's interesting. The message I'm getting here is that you're incredibly motivated when it comes to realizing your own ideas and your own hopes and dreams. The Princess of Swords doesn't quite have all the answers yet. So if you do work on something that is important to you, you'll notice that some of the information is missing, or that you haven't done this before, so you haven't got the experience and it's your first time. So if you're trying to perfect something, you may have to do it once or maybe twice to get it exactly right because the experience isn't there. And it's that process of actually doing something and then reviewing it and improving upon it that you're going to be good at. What you're not so good at today is to simply jump into action, to assume that you've done all the research and you have all the information that you need, and then to just jump into action. That is likely to bring up certain errors or flaws or oversights. And the key here isn't to act with these huge grand gestures. It's to focus on the detail and to make sure everything is right. Because something isn't quite available in terms of the information, in terms of the planning, so the outcome is going to reflect that. So if you're about to start a new project or a new venture or a new job, a new relationship, anything really, then it's important not to wing it, to say, oh, my experience from past job, I'll be able to transfer that and do really well here too. No, it's much more important to really get all the information before you set off so that you don't even make the errors to begin with. You can avoid them. So the good news is that you're motivated, you're interested in creating something for yourself, you feel connected, so it's a nice time, but you feel very driven to create something on your own. And because the right information isn't available, instead, I would say that pouring your energy into correcting something or making sure that it is accurate, that's going to work. And also pouring your ideas into something tangible where you can express your ideas in an indirect way, so through writing or through talking to another person, through composing music, anything that takes your ideas that exists, anything that exists in an abstract level in your mind, giving that some sort of tangible form, that's going to allow you to take your ideas and to encapsulate them and to see them for what they are. So it's much better to be creative and to express your ideas rather than to work on something that requires a lot of technical information and details, where you have to make sure everything is absolutely correct. Like if you're doing your taxes, it's that kind of thing where all the numbers have to be exactly right. Every box has to be ticked and filled out correctly. That's the kind of thing that could cause you problems. So I think accuracy is the thing that is a little bit pressured today. So give yourself time to make things accurate. If you do find an error in some of your work, then don't freak and go over it, revise it, correct it, and move on. I think the main thing is to give yourself a break here and to say, do you know what, if you're working with info which is 90% right, then the outcome is going to be 90% right. You can't wave a magic wand here to get information. What you can wave a magic wand for is to create something tangible. So your feelings, what you're considering, that is going to be true for you. And whether you research it or not doesn't matter because you're feeling it. I mean, there's no research required, right? So anything that's straightforward like that, give voice to it, that's going to work well. So the Magician is the first card in the Major Arcana. Usually it's a magician standing there in the center of the card, one arm up to the sky, the other pointing down. And the message is that the magician gets his power from the universe, from source, and he's able to channel that through his system into the real world. He's able to create magic in all areas in terms of life purpose, relationships, money, ideas, educations, decisions. And the actions that he takes is perfectly balanced because it's based on spiritual information. And when it's filtered through him, his ideas and passions combine. And then he's able to create something that not just the universe wants, but that he wants. And that then makes everybody happy because it exists in its own right. So you're a creator. You have the ability to make something that has a life of its own. The Princess of Swords is a court card. So a character, a person may appear in your life today who presents themselves and what they're saying as 100% accurate and beyond doubt. And they present information as super, super concrete. And in reality, it isn't. The Princess of Swords, she is able to put on a good show, but then if you scratch under the surface, you'll notice that she hasn't done all her homework. So Page of Swords is completely new to education, ideas, communication, teaching. Princess of Swords manages it somehow, but she does get one or two things wrong at times. So that's the thing to watch out for with her. And then the King and Queen of Swords, they're able to rule the element and to communicate very, very effectively and to make decisions which will benefit the self and other people. So your intentions are good, your head's in the right space, you're able to express yourself, but I think it's going to be much better to express things which are fundamentally aligned with the Princess of Swords, things that you can't be certain of, that you're maybe a little bit uncertain about. So poetry about, should I, shouldn't I? Or expressing the writing down the pros and cons and talking about the process of why it's so difficult to decide. I mean, that in itself is something that can help you grow. What's going to tip the scale that's going to allow you to decide one way or the other? I don't think it's going to be factual information because with the Princess of Swords, she always misses something. I think the thing that's going to tip the scale is if it feels right. Does the universe want me to do this? Yes. Okay. Can I do it? Yes. Okay, let's try it out. So it's much more about giving voice to something that, has personal meaning and that doesn't need to be fact-checked. Finally, the Three of Pentacles is a minor arcana card that says you have expertise, you're a skilled worker, laborer, and your contribution matters and means something. It adds value to the world, and it's supposed to add value back to you. So what we've got is Three Pentacles being built up here in this church. It's going to be a stained glass window. And that's going to stand there for a long time. So your work is important. So don't waste your time by working with faulty information. Only do something if it really makes sense, if it feels right, and if you have a vision of what you can do with it. You see the sun here at the center of these Three Pentacles. The glory and the beauty doesn't stem from the stones or the church. It stems from the individual who had an idea for a circular window with Three Pentacles in it. So you've got great ideas. Whether you have all the information or not really doesn't matter. If you make it personal, it can stand the test of time. And also by working, you're able to help the Princess of Swords graduate and become the Queen of Swords, because once she has fact-checked and looked for errors and amended information to make it correct, that's when she gets it and she stops making errors and she's able to make decisions for other people. So it's by applying yourself that you learn, you become more experienced. And then when you have the experience, you're able to manifest good things in your life much more easily. So it's a day of learning. Be patient with yourself. Review the results of the work at the end of the day and learn something about yourself and realize, wow, I'm actually more skilled than I realized. These ideas seem really right to me. I'm going to commit to those. I've checked them. They make sense factually. On an emotional, spiritual level, they sit right with me. So let's go. So it's about gaining clarity, understanding, wisdom, and being teachable and learning skills that you can then use in future. Number-wise, we've got the Magician, which is 1, a court card, which is 1. So 1 and 1 is 2, and 3 is 5. 5 in numerology is freedom. So you have freedom from the Princess of Swords tendency, I think, to make little errors that you have to then tidy up afterwards, and that can be very frustrating. And I think something clicks in terms of the way you work and the way you perceive. So it's kind of like you educate yourself through work. You're your own teacher. You teach yourself. Yep. And that then leads to freedom, more choice when it comes to work, future decisions that you make, and what magic you want to create here on planet Earth for yourself and for other people. So you're free to choose. Have an amazing day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.